Hi, my name is Matthew Pierce. I'm a software engineer, and today I'm going to show you how to export a path permanently in Linux. Now, there are kind of two sort of classes of exports, path exports you can do. You can either do it on the user level, or you can do it on a system level for all users. Now, if you're going to do it on the user level, you're going to want to first check into your home directories .pam environment file. That's the one that's the most common place. It's recommended by Ubuntu to do it that way, and it contains a list of assignment statements. It's not a script file that gets run, but it has path directories that you assign to variables, and you set your path up that way. If you don't have one, my system doesn't have that file, then you would look in your .profile file. And this is what I have right here. I've got two windows set up. I've got one, you can see them labeled here. This is for user and this is for system. Just a little hint, if you're using shells in Linux, what you can do is go to the terminal menu here. You can set a title for each one. I do this at work because I have so many shell windows open. It's hard to keep track of where everything is. But that's just a useful little tip to help you keep track of what your shells are meant for. So anyway, if you look in the .profile file, you can see that down here it's got a path. I export my path equals my home bin directory and the existing path, and this just says that I'm going to put the path to any local bin directory or private bin directory, as it says right here, onto the front of my path statement, so it shows up first. So when I go to run a program, say I have two programs of the same name in two different bin directories, one in my private bin, one in the system bin, it's going to look in my private bin first and pick that one. And so that's just kind of, you have to determine how you want your system set up. So you have to determine the ordering. You can put that afterwards and look at the system first too, depending upon what you want. But that's how you do it with that file. Now, after the .profile, there's bash profile or bash login, or actually it's .bash profile or .bash login that live in your home directory also. And the system, it prefers the .bash profile over the .bash login, and you can make changes there too, but the problem with doing it there is it won't affect your graphics session. It'll just affect your shells. And there's another place in your .bash rc file that lives in your home directory, and that's probably the most common place that people make changes to their path directories and whatnot, and system variables for their local user account. However, you got to be careful when you're mucking around on those things. You can mess things up, and then your script won't run, and then you'll end up with a shell with nothing set until you fix it. So it can be a real hassle. Now, a second place where you can make these changes is in the system level. And to do that, you'll want to look in, like the PAM environment directory, there's an etc environment file, excuse me, not a directory, a file. And it's, as you can see here, it's got my path, it sets my path up, and again, this isn't a script file, this is just a file that contains assignment statements. So you could put your path in there, but what's going to happen is the system is eventually going to run the /etc profile file, which will have, your system variables in that too. And what it's going to do is it's going to source in your etc bash and some other files, and then it's going to export your path anyway. So you can also make your changes in your /etc bash .bash rc file, and that's the system-wide version of the .bash rc file. And that file, the .bash rc file, it gets executed whenever the user enters a shell, or starts up a shell, or the desktop environment starts up. So this would be a really good place if you wanted to do a system-wide export of a path variable, to put it right there, because then it'll be available to the graphic environment as well as the user shells. My name is Matthew Pierce. Today I showed you how to permanently export a path variable in Linux. Thanks for watching.